Hello everybody and welcome to our 2023 game room tour. It's been a little while, and actually we haven't really done a game room tour ourselves other than when we set it up, so a lot's changed. So today we're going to take you through our entire retro gaming room setup.
So when you first walk into our game room, you may notice some cool artwork on the walls. There's Ghost of Tsushima up at the top. And then we've had a lot of questions on this. This is from the 25th anniversary Persona celebration. And then there's a free Chris Tales poster from GameStop if you did the pre-order.
So next we have our closet, and well, not really. It's actually full of games.
It's special editions.
Yeah, it's not a closet anymore. We have our TV VCR combo, we have a bunch of special edition games and stuff, and we have box consoles up top. And I know, we know what you're thinking. Where the heck did they get these awesome graphic tees? Well, we got them from our sponsor, Into the AM. T-shirts are a lifestyle, and our lifestyle is anything Japanese culture, anime, video games, art,
Technology.
music, like all of it. So the fact we can get them on t-shirts in a nice comfy style at a premium quality is awesome. Into the AM is a company that makes quality graphic tees, standard tees, and a lot of different apparel that you might like with a lot of different styles to appeal to any generation, any fashion style. So make sure you check them out. We really appreciate them as our sponsor today. And right now you can get 3 graphic tees for $60. And if you use our link in the description below, you get an additional 10% off. And that really helps support us. So thank you so much, Into the AM, for sponsoring this video.
So we have a lot of really cool special editions on the shelves. We have Yee's shelf here. And we got the new Soul Hackers and Atelier series, and we have Cotton, and of course my beloved Trails of series I'll be working through for the next 10 years. And at the very bottom we have our Laserdisc collection, including anime Laserdisc. Not only that, we have records of video games as well. And like, we have this dresser in here, but for a good reason. See all those loose cartridges that are hard to display on shelves? We've decided to make a drawer solution out of it. So we have all of our Game Boy Advance that don't have boxes. We have Atari Lynx, N64 with top labels, must have.
Definitely a must have.
Yeah. And we have some box Virtual Boy. We're just kind of out of space on the shelves. But we also have Neo Geo Pocket. We have almost a full set, I believe.
I think we're about 5 to 10 short.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then we almost have a full Vectrex set. Most of this is from my family's childhood copy, but it'd be really fun to complete the rest of these. We also have some loose Sega Genesis carts and Game Gear. Oh, and of course, we have our overlays for Vectrex.
Yes.
Spike, that was my favorite Vectrex game growing up. Down below, everyone knows what these are, these beautiful gray carts. They're NES. And then one of my favorites is definitely Super Nintendo. I probably have the most nostalgia for this in my childhood. You know, I really enjoyed Out of This World growing up. It was out of this world, and it was also very challenging. It was one of those games where if anything sneezed on you, you died. And we have our Overflow and kind of more expensive RPGs that we don't have boxes for, like Lufia 2, Lufia 1. And then we have Robotruck hanging out over there for some reason. I'll put him back over here with its buddies.
And Super Famicom games.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Famicom.
Famicom, Super Famicom. Oh, look at that. Dragon Quest V. Very nice. How about some anime? Yu Yu Hakusho. Mm-hmm. Fun fighting game. This is kind of the odds and ends drawer, right? I guess this is the junk drawer of the game room.
So next up, we have the other side of our closet. Pretty similar, but a little bit different. So we love collecting series of games, right? Series of RPGs specifically. On the other side, we have the Trails. Well, part of the Trails series. We have the Yee series. Over here, we have the Tales series. This is just these are the big box versions of it. And we have a lot of big 3DS games right below. Mega Man, Zelda, Chibi Robo, all the cool stuff that they released at Best Buy. that can't find anymore for very cheap. Down another row, we actually have a lot of Vita games, and these even include some that are Japanese only, which is kind of cool. And then right below that, we have Switch games, and this, it's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of a combination of all the good stuff, right? Like Genso Rondo, both the Prinny Presents volumes. One of the most expensive games we have here is like Land Greaser 1 and 2, which is neat. But lots and lots of big box Switch games, and then below, this is kind of a mix of PlayStation, PS4, some Switch as well, just a lot more big box stuff that we enjoy. We do have a lot of non-RPGs in our collection. Shmups are one of my favorites. And then below is just some other junk. We also have up here a lot of lanyards from different events we've been to, like these are from SoCal Gaming Expo, SoCal Gaming. This is Game On Expo last year. A lot of cool stuff. Her Atlas bag that Hot Wheel Ricky was cool enough to give her. How awesome is that?
So beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Show us the other side. Yeah.
Wow.
Persona 5.
Awesome. And then up above, we have more console boxes. I mean, this is about one of every one of the major systems and every single one of the minis, including the TurboGrafx Mini. Love the mini consoles. Actually, recently got this one too, the PC Engine Mini. So a couple games on here that aren't on the TurboGrafx one. And oh yeah, and the Genesis 2, which is also a recent addition from our birthday, from my birthday. So that was cool. We definitely don't have all the boxed like variants of consoles because that's not really our thing for major consoles. But we do have some of the cool ones like the Orange N64 and the Virtual Boy. And we have a Super Nintendo, we have a Nintendo, you know, one of each we're happy with. So next we have something pretty high up. And this is our DS, Game Boy Advance kind of boxed collection. It's not all of them that we have, but it's all of them that we have boxes for. And our favorite one is the one we have of the Micro that we picked up in Japan like 10 years ago at this point. I think it was our first trip to Japan we got this.
Yep, it was our engagement trip.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We don't see Micros very often anymore. So this is our Game Boy Advance collection for the complete in box games. It's alphabetized because we're weird like that. Some of our premier ones, the best ones, are like Pokemon Fire Red. This one is almost sealed. It has plastic and stuff around it, but it is open. Leaf Green, pretty much all of our favorite RPGs we have to have in box, and Game Boy Advance is no exception.
So up here we have our boxed Super Famicom games. Some notable ones, we just picked up Treasure Hunter G. You'll see a video on that in the future. And then we have Shimigami. This one is Trials of Mana. And then down below we have our boxed Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Wouldn't be a Game Boy collection without a Pokemon game. We have had some questions about this plush before. It's Starfy from The Legend of Starfy.
Apparently it's pretty uncommon. We don't really see it anymore.
Yeah, we picked it up from a local game store for maybe like $5.
Yeah.
Probably like
He's adorable.
5 years ago or so. We have our long box PS1 games, and Aloy is protecting them. They're just kind of fun to collect the long boxes. They're unique, but they are a pain in the butt to fit into adjustable shelves. We have kind of the tail end of our PS2 collection. It spans all the way across the room.
We primarily have RPGs on that console, all the RPGs we want, including some of the real heavy hitters, and most of the horror games we want, including most of the heavy hitters like Haunting Ground.
We have just over 200 PS2 games in our collection. We believe we have every single RPG for the PS2, but could be wrong. So down in this quadrant is our Switch collection. And surprisingly, we have over 300 games on it already.
Just about 300, yeah.
That's pretty crazy because it's so modern, you know? I mean, we love retro, but we love modern too. Nintendo Switch has quickly become one of our favorite consoles because it's a hybrid console. It's portable and, you know, you can play it on the TV as well. But they also did a good job of releasing retro games to the modern era, and also, you know, modern games like Breath of the Wild, you know, everybody loves that.
The next section is our main wall, and the wall we've actually organized horizontally. And the reason for that is that Billy bookcases have kind of limitations on their shelf sizes, and we found this to be the most efficient, and we can kind of read it left to right which is how books read in America, so it kind of makes sense. At the top we have our DS collection. That's the original DS. It goes all the way over, and we have some Japanese ones as well. We believe we have every RPG on the DS. We definitely have all the Pokemon games, CIB, all the major titles, you know, all the Castlevanias, all the Metroids, all that kind of stuff. Our Nintendo DS collection, loose and complete, we have over 200 games. And it's still growing. There's still some out there that we're looking for. Right below that, we have one of our favorite consoles, which is the PlayStation 1. This is our favorite console to collect for. Specifically, all the RPGs. We have all of the big ones. I don't think there are any RPGs we're missing of the good ones. Honestly, there might be a couple heavy hitter games that we're missing that we want, but all of them you can think of. And our PlayStation collection's over 150 games, all complete in box. We don't really like collecting PlayStation games loose. Next we have the PSP collection, which is, again, every RPG released on the console. That's a big focus of ours. That's what we love the most. And a lot of other games that we enjoy, like the Metal Slugs and the Loco Rocos, Hammer and Hero. A lot of the really good games it makes sense to have on that console. In our PSP collection, we have about 170 games. And all of those are complete because we don't like collecting loose games on that one either. So next up is our PlayStation Vita collection. We have just under 300 games on the console. We have every single US retail released PlayStation Vita game. That doesn't include East Asia Soft, Limited Run, a lot of those, because there's over like 1,200 total. A lot of those games we just weren't interested in, but we did complete this set. And amongst them, it's one of our most rare PlayStation Vita games, which is AW Phoenix Festa. There weren't many of these made. It's worth around $1,000 depending on the time of day. And we got it for about $4 equivalent through trade, so make sure you check out that video if you ever get a chance.
We have this kind of odd shelf here, right? We have our left to right organization. We have this shelf that is N64, NES, and SNES.
Basically every boxed game we have for those consoles, they all fit on that shelf.
We would love to have more of these box games, but you know, they're just really hard to come by for a decent deal. But the ones we have, we really enjoy and cherish. So we're gonna skip on down past PS2, I talked about it, to PS3. We have about 160 PS3 games. Mainly RPGs again. That's going to be a theme throughout our entire collection, where we're trying to collect every RPG released on the systems that we want to collect for. Next in line is PS4 games. We have about 160 as well. So the notable game for this system that I played was Persona 5 Royale, which I clocked in, dang, what was it, like
230, 240 hours?
I feel like it was more than that, but I did platinum the game. It was my first platinum. I'm very proud of that. Moving on, we have our Wii set. Our Wii set is mainly just the good stuff or games that we're nostalgic for. And once again, we have about 160 Wii games as well. I really enjoy Atlas titles, so we have the full set of Trauma Team. That was very exciting. I'm pretty sure we just picked up this one very recently.
Next up, we have a pretty condensed Wii U collection. We recently kind of downsized it. We were thinking of going complete, but we already went complete for 2 generations in this series, 3DS and Vita. We already have enough LEGO games on both consoles. We don't need more on this one as well. So this is just all killer, no filler, basically. Some of our favorite games on the console, and that's about it. So right below that, we have our PS5 collection, and PS5, we're still growing. You know, we have some of the major heavy hitters. We love this console. If we're gonna get something for graphics and modern gameplay, we're usually gonna play it on the PS5. My favorite game on the PS5 so far is Ghost of Tsushima. The game is incredible. Next, we have our Xbox 360 games, and we have about 150 Xbox 360 games. Again, just games we really wanted, mostly console exclusives, honestly. If I'm gonna play a shmup in that generation, or a shooter in that generation, it's definitely gonna be on the 360. And some Xbox games, we have about 50, mostly exclusives that you can't really get anywhere else, like Gun Valkyrie, or everybody's favorite party game, Fusion Frenzy.
Dino Crisis 3 is exclusive as well.
Yeah. So just all the good stuff we wanted on the console. We have about 50 games for it, and it's still growing. We're still looking for a couple exclusives that exist out there.
So we have a very sneaky little skinny shelf here, and it has the Lunar games on it. These are both my childhood copies. I highly cherish these. This was one of those games that I have a lot of nostalgia for. Up top here, we have the Lunar Puppet, which was a pre-order. Now, my brother gave me this for Christmas very recently, so it's a really cool piece. And then we have some Chrono Trigger love here, some Chrono Trigger figures to go along with it. And we have, of course, like one of the most expensive games on 3DS, Fire Emblem Fates.
That one is sealed.
Yep.
And the box, everybody says the box looks really rough, and honestly, it's got some marks on it, but it's not too bad.
It's GameStop new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still sealed, but like it was, you know, it's got some wear from like shipping. But other than that, it's beautiful.
We still love it and cherish it.
Yep. This is also pretty amazing. When we were early on garage sailing, way before we started our YouTube channel, this is probably our best garage sale find.
We got it for $10 at a garage sale in a bundle. And it's basically new. It was just opened. Everything else is brand new.
Yeah, like it had the original batteries and it looked like it was maybe played once. We did throw away those batteries, so no worries. This is our copy of Earthbound. It's Daniel's original copy. He loves this game. It's
top 5 all time.
Yeah, Fuzzy Pickles. And of course, one of our other highly prized games is Magic Knight Rayearth. I'm really excited about it because not only is it working designs, but it has those cool anime cutscenes and fun like 90s songs. We're going for our full working design collection, so watch for more videos on that in the future. We don't have a lot of them, but they're pretty neat and they're a little unusual. There's the Turbo Graphics. Of course, we need to collect some of those for the working design set, but they're really cool and interesting, especially for like the time that they came out. And then we have a few box 3DO games. All of these are really weird.
And mostly bad.
Yeah, like such gems as Way of the Warrior.
If you've never played this game, look up some gameplay of it and cringe with us.
This is one of those games I'm pretty sure they couldn't make in this era.
No.
We forgot to mention our GameCube collection. It's all pretty much just killer titles. We don't have a ton of games for it. We have the Mario games, Lost Kingdoms 1 and 2, Baten Kaitos that's coming out for Switch soon.
So next is our 3DS collection. We are 14 games away from completing every single one from the US retail set. Basically, it all fits on one shelf other than a couple double stacked shelves down below. We do have some games that we have loose only, specifically the ones that make sense to collect loose, like the not for resale games. They didn't make cases for these, so gotta find all those too, right? If you're into collecting journeys, make sure you check out our 3DS collection videos that we made because there's a lot of them and we're still making them. So hopefully we'll finish the hunt soon. Here's where we have some really cool stuff. So we have themed shelves here basically. The first themed shelf is for Zelda stuff. Anything ranging from the Zelda 3DS, the Zelda 2DS, the Majora's Mask Edition 3DS, new 3DS XL, all the way over to some figures, some Nintendo exclusive like lithographs that you can order with the Nintendo points, and the Nintendo Game & Watch, or the Zelda Game & Watch. So kind of anything Zelda goes in here for the most part. Next we have one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy VIII. And this shelf, other than Yojimbo here in the front, is devoted to Final Fantasy VIII. This is a Final Fantasy VIII pocket watch that I picked up a long time ago. That's really, really cool. But love the story of Squall and Renoa, and if you don't, that's okay. You can still be my friend. And then down here we have some Game & Watches. We have the new ones, we have the old ones, including the original Mario Brothers Game & Watch. These all are functioning and work great, and we love them. And some of them have their own little special stands and everything. Next up we have our newest addition to our collection, this shelf. So we actually picked this up at Desert Sky Games for $100. On top of this shelf is also kind of cool. We have our split personality hats. If you've seen our shorts or came here from our shorts, this is what Xbox guy wears, this is PlayStation guy, and Nintendo guy. So those are fun.
Why do you talk to yourself so much?
Because it's fun. So in the case, we have 3DSs, 3DS XLs, new 3DS XLs, new 2DS XLs, DSIs, Game Boy Advance SPs, we have in-box 3DS XLs and 3DSs, all the good stuff. There is one really cool thing in here that you've probably never seen, and that is this. So this is a DS Lite, right? No, it's actually a DS Lite demo console. So we picked this up for $8.99. These are $200 to $300 each. They are demo only. There's paper screens here. There's no actual screens. But super clean. It does not read games. I haven't taken it apart because I don't want to. It's nice and clean. It says here, non-working Nintendo DS. Isn't that cool?
We have my childhood Vectrex here, and below it we have some of our theme shelves. This one's the pink themed shelves. So I've got some handhelds that are pink and video games and pop figures. Below we have our Miku shelf, and we have some items from the concert we went to in 2014. Down below we have kind of random figures down here. We have Ash from Final Fantasy XII. We have Riku and Pain from X2. And then we have these other anime figures in here, and one from
AI Slumness Files.
what he said. This one should also be on the pink shelf, but I'm kind of out of room, but she fits very nicely in there. So this is our theme shelf. All the way up to the top, we have a box display for Final Fantasy X2, and then Persona 5 Special Edition, Ni no Kuni. A very special gift from our friend Mort. He gave us a press kit from Persona 3 and Persona 4 that was re-released digitally very recently. Below it we have our 2DS collection. All of our doorstops are right here on this shelf.
We have every single US released 2DS console.
Yes, and a few extras from Japan. And then here's a couple of my favorite shelves is the Shin Megami Tensei shelf. I've been collecting some of the manga as I come across it as well. Below is the beloved Persona shelf. And I have some cool items here like Morgana from the special edition, the special 3DS version.
And we have every single Shin Megami Tensei and Persona game. Every single one of them.
This is pretty special because I picked this up at GameStop used. I think around, I want to say 2008.
Price tag's still on it.
Yeah, and
$9.99.
like I kept the price tag on there because I guess I just had a feeling to just keep it on there for nostalgic reasons. This shelf, I know it's pretty haphazard and I need to go through it and like declutter it a bit, but I have Yokai Watch, which I adore, and then I also have Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior. Combination of both of them. Have some fun figures, some little gachapons. It's a whole set down here of slimes and other monsters. This is our Dreamcast collection. We have just over 100 games. We'd like to go complete on it, but right now we're focusing on 3DS. Down here we have, this is our Sega Saturn and Sega CD collection, and we have some Master System games as well, and our very nice Nomad that still works. And then we have Genesis down below. These are our box versions. We already showed you the loose copies. And way down at the bottom, no disrespect, we have our Xbox One collection. And in front we have some demo discs.
So we're casually collecting demo discs, and the first ones here in our hand are our favorites. These are from the Dreamcast magazines that we have the full set of.
Now, if you just watched our last video, we just showed you that set of magazines. So this should be the full set of the discs that came with, and we have the full set of magazines. So that'll be really cool. We'll have to find a small magazine rack that we can hopefully fit in this space somewhere and have those all displayed together. We also have a near complete Xbox demo disc collection as well.
It's pretty cool. Next up, we have another feature shelf. So, Final Fantasy is actually a big deal to us. We got married back in 2015, and our whole wedding was themed after Final Fantasy. In fact, they played the Crystal theme as we walked down the aisle. It was awesome. And maybe someday we'll release some video of that. But we have every single Final Fantasy game complete in box. Every single one released, except for some of the like 11 and 14 expansions. We're not counting the MMOs. So for the rest of them, we have the Soldier First Class Edition of Final Fantasy VII Remake. We have the PC version of 7, the collector video. This thing's cool. This is from Elisa's childhood, the original Final Fantasy VII collector's video. So cool.
And there is a t-shirt that I need to retrieve from my parents' house that also goes with. That's very cool.
It's awesome. So we also have some music boxes. We love the Square Enix music boxes for Final Fantasy VII specifically. This is all of them for Final Fantasy VII right there. Below that we have all the Game Boy games, the SNES games, some Super Famicom games, NES, like more complete in-box Final Fantasy. And then even more down here we have the Final Fantasy Vita, we have all the GBA games. We even have this one was something Elisa gave me for my birthday a couple of years ago, which was the WonderSwan Final Fantasy, which is great. It's beautiful, I love it. And then down at the bottom, it's kind of hard to see, but we have more box consoles, just the big box stuff like a big 3DS box for the teal edition, and those kind of things. The boxes for the 2DS, new 2DS XLs, just stuff we haven't found a good place for yet that fits there just fine. This usually sits in front of our closet, but we were showing off the closet today. This is our amazing Final Fantasy VIII standee, which is, in my opinion, the best Final Fantasy VIII ever. Well, it's the best Final Fantasy VIII ever released, but it's also the best Final Fantasy ever released, and it's a hot topic, I know, but that's okay.
I still love you.
Yes. So over here we have where all the magic happens. Actually, we have Tenchi Muyo playing here on Laserdisc, but there's a Laserdisc playing here. Can you believe that? So to start at the top, we have the Virtual Boy, fully functioning, works great. Still makes me sick though, so that means it works great. We have our awesome King Slime here because he's just so cool. Some cool art on the wall like Cloud, and we have some neat kind of propaganda art from Japan. Our PlayStation 2 and our setup below. So we have all these set up to a switchboard for, this is the ESDS video audio switch for all the consoles. We have a Japanese and US compatible Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, we have 32X Sega CD and Genesis combo. We have our Laserdisc. We have the original Halo Edition Xbox with a TurboGrafx 16 right above it. My original NES from my childhood. GameCube with the Game Boy player, a purple N64, which currently has Beetle Adventure Racing in it. It's a great game. SNES Junior has Final Fantasy II on it and Evo on the side. And right below we have our DVD VCR combo, and then our controllers, which we use in this little pull-out. We try not to roll cables up too tightly because they become like overwound, so we kind of keep them loose as possible so that when you stretch them out, they kind of stay straight. We have like the official green Halo controller and the official purple N64 controller and just all the stuff that goes with these ready to go so we can play at a moment's notice. And above we have the Sony. This is a Sony Trinitron. I think it's a 28-inch, I want to say.
27.
27. And it's quite big and heavy, but it does a great job and has a fantastic picture on it. And we have the remote, so it's all we really need. It's our retro setup. It's where all the magic happens. So everybody knows our favorite genre of games are JRPGs, but our second favorite are survival horror games. So at the top we have survival horror stuff. We have the Bubblehead Nurse. This figure is awesome. We have the super rare Resident Evil 7 Baker House, which came in that big special edition that was a GameStop exclusive. We have a plush Pyramid Head. I'm still calling him Pyramid Head, even though the Silent Hill creators keep calling him Red Pyramid Thing. Sorry, he's Pyramid Head to me. We keep collecting these, we keep finding them. Resident Evil 2 figures and Resident Evil original figures, including Leon Kennedy from the Resident Evil 4 remake, or 2 remake big box. And then right below that, we have some in-box PlayStation Vita games along with our PSP Go consoles. We have the black one and the white one, and some more PS Vita consoles here, and a white PSP. And then down below, we have even more crazy stuff, which is the box for her pink PSP. We have a complete in-box Neo Geo Pocket, which is kind of neat. Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, just kind of neat display stuff. The Aqua Blue Vita. Neo Geo Pocket Color is actually a really, really cool console, by the way. If you haven't played one before, can recommend. And at the bottom, we have stuff that, again, kind of doesn't have a home, kind of like our boxed consoles, the Pikachu 2DS XL. New 2DS XL is kind of nice. Our complete box Switch lights, the both Pokemon ones. Some other rare stuff like this we picked up for $15 on a local deal. This is sealed. It's the Pikachu 2 GB that goes with the Pokemon Yellow game.
It's basically a Tamagotchi for the gold and silver games.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And Behind the Door. Great song, by the way. Oh, don't look at this. Don't. It's our wall of sus.
Ooh,
Now, these are some retro items that we picked up, like the Dead or Alive calendar. This is just a promo. We've got, classic Lara Croft. She's not too pixelated, a little curvy, but not, triangles, if you know what I mean. And then this is from Yoro no Dai Nikuni.
Knights of Azure.
Yeah, Daniel can say that much better. And then up at the top, this is really, really neat and very, very retro. So this was from E3, and this was a promo for Knights of a Dream. And it's a pillowcase, of all things.
It's crazy.
Because, it's about sleeping.
Yeah.
Dreams.
So that's it. That's the whole game room. Thank you all for watching, and if you like our room, we do.
Is there something you want to see a dedicated video on in the collection?
Yes, please let us know. Until then, thank you so much Into the AM for sponsoring this video, and thank you all for watching. Please, if you like this, or you like just the banter between us, then subscribe, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you hit that bell notification, you're gonna know when we post our next video every time. So thank you once again for watching, and remember, the couple that has an awesome game room together that they play in together stays together. Take care, everybody. We will see you all next time.
Bye. Tales of Zillia is pretty sweet, but Tipo right here never stops talking.
He needs to stop talking forever. I can't stand it.
We stopped playing this game because of Tipo. So
Tipo.
boo to Tipo.
Yeah, shut your mouth, Tipo.
Hush up, Tipo.
Try and play a game here.